This is an unrealistic thing that's worse for the game. This is the double-double. This is stupid. If I am a freaking...
Just reach into your backpack like
that's what I'm doing.
The dice.
Exactly. If I've got 6 grenades strapped to my chest and I'm not going to close my eyes and rip one and then... Because, like, you literally... Like, it's the most...
Put them in the bingo ball where you spin the thing.
Oh, dude, for real. Dude.
Oh, B-17.
It's crazy. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the podcast, the show dedicated to talking about all the poggers things in life, like music, content creation, and video games. I am one of your co-hosts, JesseKazam, and I am finally a Kappa gamer.
Yay!
Damn it.
Oh, you've ascended, and I
have ascended.
And I have regressed. My name is Veritas. And like an AA meeting, I am a Flechette user.
Hi, Veritas.
Hi. So, yeah, tell me about Kappa.
Yeah, I mean, we finally hit it. It's one of those things, man. Like, it's I've talked about this before, but like, it's what, like, if you can get Kappa, you don't need Kappa. It's just like a thing to work towards, right? Like, you know what I mean? I got it and I was like, what the hell am I going to put in these three extra spaces?
Dude,
know,
it's like a serve kit and like an extra fucking splint or like whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So it's just funny. I wish there was something else up there. It was either like a really cool cosmetic or like some of the other stuff people have asked about, like double pockets or something like that, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool.
Oh, I like double pockets, actually. Like the Scab Boss's pockets, or is it Killa?
Because people would definitely say that was OP. But once again, realistically, if you can play 1,800 raids and survive enough and do enough quests to get to level 62, like the double pockets isn't going to be what got anybody else killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but why would that be OP? Like,
because they can hatchet run and bring big mags. Like, I can just see it now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, but like, chances are, if you're the one complaining about that, you also don't have the giant chest rig that they have that has 57 more slots.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, all it is it's basically like a small upgrade to any chest rig you use.
Yeah. So like something like that would be kind of cool, and then making Kappa a little bit more accessible, even if it's hard to get, just feels, like it'd be cool if more people got it because it's such a non-factor. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was nice. We grinded for it. We pushed that last minute XP. We got like 2 or 3 days in a row where we completed 2 or 3 of the dailies, and then it was Tuesday night. Tuesday night, I needed like 180,000 XP, and I was like, I'm obviously not going to get Kappa tonight, but we'll work on our dailies, and we were grinding the dailies. I was playing with Desmond, and I got the most softball weekly. My weekly reset all night. I was like, okay, my weekly's going to reset in like 2 hours. And now the thing is like normally I would hate this weekly, even though it was easy, because it was only 98,000 XP. And like normally when you're level 61, you want your weeklies to be like 300,000 XP, 350,000 XP. But I started the day, I needed 170,000. I completed 2 dailies, so I only needed like 112,000 XP. And then I got a weekly, and it was turn in 5 bleach, which you can craft, and 10 soap. And I had 3. And I was like, all we need is 7 soap. And
did you go woods?
Have Kappa. We went woods nighttime. And
did you go to the fucking USEC camp?
We went to.
I think I was telling you about that a
little
couple days ago.
The medical thing with all the crates and the meds and the.
I think it's like 100% fucking spawn.
Yeah,
there.
we found a soap we never had a raid where we found more than 1 soap. We found 1 soap every raid. We died once, but we found 1 single soap every single raid.
Was it like in the bag under the tent or whatever?
No, it was in different spots each time. But like we found soap over there all the time. Dude, the last raid, I mean, literally at this point from the survives, I had gotten how much XP I need to cap it down to 97,000. Okay, my weekly is 98,000. I had 9 out of 10 soaps turned in. We're in nighttime, okay? We're looting up the little camp. Desmond's like, I got it. I was like, give me the soap. So we're SJ6, dude. We're hauling it across. We get all the way across the map. We go down by the lumber on the
Did you
river.
put it in your gamma?
No. We go up to the other side. We get past the tent, and out by outskirts is a 4-man of thermal extract campers. Okay, as soon as we crest the hill, M62, shoo, 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 I get hit. I get hit 4 times. I was like, Desmond, I'm gone. I am bailing. I popped some drugs. I turn around,
bud.
and
Sorry.
I'm just running. And Desmond's like, run, I'll fight him. And so, like, Desmond killed 2 of them. So it's how we know that they were running thermals. But, like, he dumpstered just in the pitch black dark 2 of these guys. And then a 3rd one starts fighting him. So he starts fighting the 3rd one. And then a 4th one starts shooting at him. All the while, I'm hearing the shots. I'm running back by Duffel Rock, like in front of the tent. And I stop for stamina. I get my stamina. I pop another painkiller and I start running. Right as I start running, I hear a shift out of my left ear, and out of my right ear, I hear
cultists.
And I started screaming to death. I was like, the cultists are here. And then you hear like a gun, like someone switched to a gun. Dude, I am
and
just
then you were in your stash?
Sprinting, dude. I'm running. I run all the way around, and then I see the smoke for ZV14 drop down, unlock the thing, and we turned into soap and we had Kappa. It was the most, like, it wasn't that stressful because I knew if I died, soap's not that hard to find, but it was just everything happening on the very last soap that I needed to get Kappa. It was like insane. I'd stayed up like an hour or 2 late playing extra rage trying to get it done. It was just like, it felt like there was so much riding on this one soap. And
you had all the items already?
Yeah, I had all the items. I got all the items really early. The only one I needed, which is the one that almost everybody struggles with, is the Willer's wallet. And I got that out of a 95k scav case. I didn't have to go get it out of Marked. And I was like, yo, Pog. And I had everything else. So it was, dude, it was so fun.
How long do your scav cases take? Like, do you know how long?
Like, not long at all.
Oh, you fucking dickhead.
Because I forgot also, I didn't know this actually. So when you get to level 60, you get the quest, The Choice, turning the Epsilon. That gives you 1.2 scav karma. Like, that's a significant amount. So
yeah, it gives that to you unless you're me, and my scav karma
then it means nothing.
Bugged.
Oh,
no, it's bugged.
Yeah, you said that last time. Like, no matter what, it's not moving.
It's negative like 8.77, and it's been like that no matter what I do.
So that put me from like 5.3 to 6.5. So that put me over to max scav karma. And so now mine are even lower. Like I'm in my hideout.
If you were to do the intel folder, like how long would that take?
My hideout is taking forever to load. Okay, so intel takes 3 hours and 12 minutes.
Bro, I'm 72% of my intel and I have 13 hours left. I can do one, like I make Bitcoin faster than
Intel.
It's like one per day.
That's insane. Yeah, Intel's 3 hours and 12 minutes. Moonshine is 2 hours and 46 minutes. And 95K is an hour 10.
Dude, my 95K is like 18 hours or something.
Yeah, I can farm 95Ks. You know what I mean? I can do like multiple of them in a stream because it does it every hour.
I just like flea marketed like 20 moonshines because I'm like, I can't even use them. I won't be able to use them fast enough.
I flea market them anyway. I feel like I did I haven't turned this into a video yet. I filled a Holodilnic fridge with found in raid crafted moonshines. The entire thing was full. It was like 30. And then I just ran them back to back through the thing to like see how much money, and like it was not that good. Of course, it's anecdotal because some person might run it back to back and get like 2 insane things.
Just get like I was gonna say red key card.
Yeah, like I've seen people have been pulling greens and blacks out of 95K scav case, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been running the 95K mostly. I just kind of like bored.
Yeah,
I have to wait a fucking day for everything, so
yeah.
I'm like,
yeah. But yeah, so we got it. We're Kappa gaming. We got the extra 3 slots. I officially moved up from CMS user to a Serve 12 user because of that.
You were a Gamandy?
A Mandy.
Yeah, like a Gamma Andy. Like,
Oh.
sorry, I'm trying to make fetch happen. Still,
Stop trying to make fetch happen. Yeah. Yeah, so
I'm gonna change my fucking in-game name to Gretchen. Wasn't that her name?
I think so. So now I'm a Survive 12 user, and it takes 9 years to do surgery. Do you feel like that matters? Do you feel like the extra 7 HP you get normally matters from the Serve 12? Like, you know how if you use the Serve 12, you get more HP? Like, I always feel like especially in like legs, or if my arms are unarmored, like if I get shot again, chances are that 7 damage isn't going to save it.
So I have to reanalyze this because back before they did the damage distribution, it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it because of the way that like time to kill works.
Yeah.
Like it was almost always the same shots to kill no matter what.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a huge deal, but now it might be.
Maybe.
I got like 20% of the way through rewriting my ballistics engine for Battle Buddy, and then I'm just like, and then I haven't touched it for like 9 months. So, and now, dude, I don't know if I'm trying to figure out like a metaphor for this. Writing software, doing like this big project, like restarting something and then stopping like 20% of the way through. It's almost like, imagine like remodeling your house or whatever. Like you knock a bunch of walls down, you paint a bunch of other shit, and you're like, don't come back for 3 years. When you look at it again, you're like, I want it to be totally different.
Yeah.
Just like knock down all the walls and like pick different paint. You know, that's the way it is. Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
But yeah, I spent the last 48 hours. Well, I mean, not all of it, but basically whenever I ran out of labs key cards, I just said fuck it and would grab all the Saigas that I have, the 12 gauge Saigas that I got from Tagilla.
Okay.
Put a couple of lasers on them, put a hollow sight and foregrip, and you run the power mags full of flechette.
Yeah.
And you just shift W, and then every now and then, if you hear a sound, you kind of turn towards it and mouse one like a bunch, and then they just die. I survived like 7 raids in a row every single time, just running.
Yep.
Like a 23 out of 23 Gazelle, like Swordens and a Saiga, and I walked out with my fucking thick case has 2 Zabralos, 2 fucking Fort level 6s, 2 LZSHs, wrist T, 2 Altons. I've got like 5 Tagilla helmets, a hex grid, 2 slicks, and the Redut T5 samurai armor, all from just running flechette with like no armor basically. And last raid I ran a Ghetto Gazelle and an Alton, and I went like 5 raids without dying. It's just
insane.
And I've been having the debate with fucking chat every time, because every kill I get, I'm like, oh, this is balanced. This is fair. And then everybody's like, what do you mean, dude? Shotguns should be good in close quarters, blah, 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 real life. Yeah. And it's like, I don't care about real life.
No.
I don't. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's about like balance, and it's about fun.
For sure.
And it's like, for the same reason,
yeah.
Like I would argue that Nikita would want to, if he knew the state of things, he would want to nerf flechette. For the same reason why he nerfed the VSS, the Val, the M4, the HK. Like he just hates metas, and hates when everybody's running, the same thing. Now, granted, I don't, you don't see flechette so much on like any other map other than Factory.
Yeah.
But still, it's just, that Factory experience is just cancer.
It's
dude.
Crazy, man. It's crazy. It's so consistently just shotguns. And yeah, it's like, once again, there's so many rounds. You can make shotguns good. See, here's the deal. I want shotguns to be good. I want it to like, I imagine, so like the art style that BSG does, like, like think about these bosses we're about to talk about. Like you saw those pictures. They all looked like big pipe. Replace the GL that he has with like a shotgun. Like that would fit right in. You'd be like, yeah, that guy's walking around with a shotgun. Like that dude's mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
one of those auto shotties,
yeah,
whatever
like
they
that's
were.
sick. Like that's dope. I want shotguns to be good. It's not just shot. It's like, it's once again, we go back to the whole like availability of ammo. It's like, okay, we want shotguns to be good. Tarkov gives a unique experience over other games where in most games it's just like the round, right? Like in Battlefield, it's just 5.56 and it's just 308. You know what I mean? It's just that's it. All right, well, let's utilize this cool mechanic they have. Make it so if 3 different shotguns are going to be level 1 trader starter weapons, then let's balance the ammos that are available at that level 2 accordingly, right? So like, I don't want just 7mm buckshot. Like people sleep on how good 7mm buckshot is because there are other options, and those options are so disproportionate, or arbitrarily more expensive. Like if you get to level 30, the price difference between 7mm buckshot and flechette is negligible. You know what I mean? 63 rubles, 250 rubles. Like per round in a shotgun, you're only going to bring in 30, 40, 50 rounds. Like that's nothing compared to 16 USD per M61. So that's...
And the difference being is that you have to pack mags.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're running... I guess it depends, right? But like, it's much easier to put a stack of 60 flechette in your gamma.
Yeah, yes.
And then have
you're risking less,
5,
only a
6,
stack of
7.
20, out at a time. So it's like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, so people sleep on how good 7mm buck is because flechette's available, but it's like those rounds, I don't care how realistic it is, in my opinion, it just shouldn't be devastating. Like you would be probably 85 to 90% as successful with 7mm buck if you were just aiming for the legs instead. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't do as much armor damage, but there's more pellets. Each pellet does more flesh damage. Like you as a good factory player would be almost as efficient and it's 72 rubles a round and you can buy an infinite amount of it. So it's like, let's just make the sliding scale better. Let's like, if we want AP20 and flechette to be something that are feared, like holy cow, like I am a monster when I'm holding this stuff, I am totally okay with that. It just shouldn't be so available that every level 30 in the game can fill up on flechette or AP20 and then go into factory and murder me with it. It's just, I want that to be rare, and I want to be scared of it when I come across it, and I want it to be a cool experience, and I want shotguns like to be cool things. Like when we're in squads, like, you know what I mean? Playing on streets at Tarkov, somebody brings a little breacher shotty because it's powerful, and I think that's cool. So it's not just nerf shotguns. That's not the highlight. It's yet let's utilize the cool mechanic they have in the sense that like, if some Timmy wants to bring a shotgun to factory, that's cool. And it should be good enough that he can get kills with it, but it shouldn't be like so good that it can drop the absolute best stuff in the game. You know what I mean? Just like instantly.
Yeah. So I was just looking up. So I'm pretty sure, let me just take a screenshot of this. Cause I want to, actually, wait, I have a fucking compare feature in my goddamn app.
Yeah.
I want to compare AP 9mm and flechette.
Oh, yeah.
There's the AP. So let me look at AP slug and then flechette. Okay. So in terms of penetration, flechette is 31. AP 9mm is 30.
Yes.
In terms of damage, the total output of flechette is 200. AP is 52.
Yeah.
Armor damage is 208. AP 9mm is 48.
Yeah.
Fragmentation is irrelevant. We're talking 5%, 3%, 0%. So with one click, you're basically shooting 8 fucking 9mm bullets AP that you cannot get.
Yes.
You cannot find.
Yes.
Like I have literally found more of the PvP.
Yeah. The good
than I
stuff.
have the AP. So
and I even oversold it. How much just off the top of the dome do you think flechette costs from Jaeger?
I don't know, 180 around.
134 rubles. 134 rubles. Okay?
Or was that 13K for like 10 raids worth of fucking...
134 rubles. Do that comparison again, Veritas, against 9 mil PST GZH. You want to know why? Because that's 1 USD per bullet, and 1 USD is 135 rubles. What?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So
it's crazy.
There's the whole argument of realism and blah 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 blah, and throw that out the window, because just as many things as people can say, like shotguns are overpowered IRL against whatever. I can pull up a number of fucking different resources that'll say that Flechette in real life is dog shit in shotguns and unreliable, and it also is effective up to like class 2 armor.
And Altons suck, you know what I mean, in the real world, but you wouldn't want your Alton to be penned by PST GZH, you know what I mean? Like it's
yeah. So throw that all aside, people, one of the arguments that we had a bunch would be, how would you nerf it? Because did I tell you about what I had said to Nikita about? I don't know. I said that to you. So I had sent a message to Nikita, basically saying, God damn it, I can never find it. Oh, I said shotguns are the new Mosin. They feel so overpowered. I said, I've been running Fort and Alton and blah, blah, blah. And he said, maybe some shotgun ammo is OP. And then I said, Flechette is definitely too good, especially since you partially fix the damage overflow.
Yeah.
But I basically said all buckshot is like nuts right now. And then he said, okay, I'll see. And then he said, is it about Flechette only? And then, so then I gave him the info. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things that I would propose. One, the penetration should be like 12.
Yeah.
And 17, like maybe, and not fucking 31 for one. For two, I mean, I think it should do a shit ton of flesh damage. Just like all the other buckshot rounds.
Yeah.
And maybe have a little bit more pen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, buckshot should be maybe not great against class 3 and class 4.
Yeah.
But like tear through a P.A.C.A., maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe a Flechette would be able to go through class 3, but it also shouldn't do as much armor damage as it does.
Yeah.
Like that's what makes it so busted, especially out of a Saiga. Someone just said, Nikita, they wanted Tagilla to have an AA-12. I don't know if this is true, but he basically said we wanted him to have an AA-12, but it was like too OP. I don't know anything about the AA-12 other than, was it Modern Warfare 2? There was one of those games, and it was like, you can click a fucking Saiga. Like, it's 10 times faster. So imagine
your camera recoil is like so separate when you do that. It's crazy,
dude. Imagine actually, it's like not even that. Like you can just click, and by the time your camera comes down, there's just a body there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So if the fire rate on the AA-12 was as slow as whether it is IRL or like one of those games, then it would be. It wouldn't be as OP as the Saiga, and I just love how the Saiga has its fucking fire rate limited, but like not the SKS and wait, other way around.
Yeah, the
it
SKS
doesn't have
has
it limited, but like a bunch of pistols, are janky and whatever. But I mean, it all comes down to the fact that if I could like slam my gavel right now and make one change to the ballistics, or anything related to that, I think the highest value change would be basically anything over 30 pen. Remove it from the traders, ban it from the flea market.
Yeah.
Those are the first two things. Take all the ammo boxes that are like fucking 9 mil, 9x18.
So much Keter ammo.
All the shit ammo. Anything under 30 pen basically should not spawn in raids. If you want to get mass shit ammo, then either buy it from the traders or get it off of dead scavs.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Like the whole ethos of how ammo spawns in this game, I would reverse. I would make the spawns the mid to high tier stuff, and if I need 250 rounds of PBM Keter ammo, it's 3.5 rubles a round from Prapor level 1. I can just get it there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, so remove, there should be 2 classes of ammo. The mediocre common stuff, and then the decent to OP, which the rarity should scale. And then make it so that like the only places you can get it are like the ammo boxes, like in the what's the fucking room in customs, the G desk room, right? Like those those wooden boxes, right? Like make it so that there are specific places you can get ammo, and when you go there, sometimes it might be a box of 30 rounds of 545 BP, right?
Yeah,
or like BT, but you can only get PP and PS and whatever from Prapor. If you made it much more rare and you made it come in small quantities, then you would see people, they would be running like an AK or even a mutant, and they'd have 1 mag of BP, and then all the rest of the rounds would be PS or US or T45 or whatever that round is. And I just think the game would be much more enjoyable. Like I had a rant yesterday about the time to kill, and because I was showing a bunch of like the montage footage from back in the day, like the one clip with Warren and the fucking MP7. It's like he's got an ult, and he put 40 rounds into this face shield, and it did nothing. And yeah, I don't. Again, I just simply don't care and don't accept the realism thing. I don't care. To me, it's far more fun, and immersive. When the fights last, I don't want it to be like the Division, right, where you see the HP bar, like it's a mini boss in Dark Souls,
100%.
But I want to be able to shoot you 2 or 3 times, 4 times, 5 times if you have decent armor and I've got crap ammo, and have us like run and reload. But the way that the game is now, all of the things that they did, the magazine reloading and the medical animations, they're irrelevant. Because combat doesn't last long enough to where you need to use them in combat. It's you kill everything or you die, and then once you kill everything, you go in a room and you heal everything and you pack your mags, and then you go and loot. But back in the day when you'd have, I mean, there weren't even heavy bleeds at the time, but when they first like introduced mag reloading, it was actually, and the medical animations, it was like a decent ordeal when you got in fights to have to actually do what it is that they wanted you to do, which is like feel the pressure of having limited ammunition and having to deal with high pressure meds in raid. But right now it's when you're running and you get one tapped, or when you hear a guy on the other side of the thing and you both wide swing and one of you just dies in one shot. Nothing matters. Like your ammo didn't matter, your armor didn't matter, the meds you have didn't matter, your choice of when to med, how to med, whatever didn't matter, how much ammo you had in your magazines didn't matter. Your fucking all the skills related to all of those things, they don't matter.
100%. And it's important to again talk about how like we talk about this all the time, because like I know that there are people that think I'm like a walking contradiction and a hypocrite, because I love the realism of this game and I want to preserve it. And like, as we move forward with the game, but like when we're talking about realism, it's like, we're talking about a realistic experience and not a realistic, single use case, because an experience is made up of thousands of use cases, and we have to bend the rules on a lot of things, right? Like Like, we all spawn at the same time. That's very unrealistic that, like, everybody plops down on a battlefield at the same time and we're all against each other. I actually know where my enemies spawned. The other day on Lighthouse, I got that South Road one, the literal all the way where the water's behind you, the extract is right to your right.
Doesn't someone spawn over by the lighthouse?
I ran straight. You can just billy goat straight up that mountain. I pulled out my DVL and I saw somebody crossing the road and I hit a 300-meter headshot. And I was like, that guy's raid was 14 seconds. He's so glad that realism means I could one-shot him. Now, I should one-shot him with a bolty, but what I'm saying is that that's not a realistic experience to know that all my enemies spawn on the battlefield at the same time as me, know exactly where they're going to be for the first 30 seconds of any given raid. So the rules are inherently broken. So what we do, when you talk about this a lot in your videos, is we're abstracting other things. We're breaking other rules to create a more realistic experience. I want to be able to fight somebody. I want a battle to happen, and I want to be able to like use my tactics and really feel like I was able to maybe get out of a bad situation or gain the upper hand, or maybe my aim was on point and I surprised that guy and I ambushed him. It's like, so yeah, I want realism, but I feel like it'd be a more fun and realistic experience, combat experience, if the time to kill was a little longer. And you don't have to do that by pumping everybody's HP. That's what they're doing with the AI, which is, in my opinion, creating a whole different slew of problems where PMC and AI health pools are different. So you might want different ammo for different things. But like, I don't want to just pump everybody's HP. So it's like, oh, well, you know what I mean? Because that kind of felt like, oh, well, we added the Mosin and this ammo does 80 damage and your thorax is 75 HP. Well, let's just increase the HP of the thorax. And it's like, and then now all these other things are even higher pen. You can get a Lapua Magnum round that's 112. And it's like, it's just, so we can do that by doing what you're saying with the ammo. It's like, maybe the ammo needs a balanced pass, but it's okay to have the Golden Lake in the game. It's okay to have BS in the game. It's okay to have 7.62 BP in the game. As long as it's not, you're able to run it nonstop exclusively forever. Like I could run for the next 3 days. I could not loot any BP, but I could run BP every raid. I have 3,000 rounds of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, and I haven't even been buying it on Trader Reset from Prepper. You know what I mean? So availability.
Well, where do you get it from? Players?
Yeah, players and rogues.
Yeah, so because
I've left with like 600 BP out of a lighthouse before.
I mean. And a lot of it comes from, like, I ended up devolving into doing the same thing that everybody else does, which is I look to see which traders reset, and I buy 45 AP, BP 762, I buy
MP7.
Probatals. I just go ahead and buy all of these things, especially like if I log on and grab some B-roll for a video. I'm like, oh, okay, let me take advantage of the click, buy, spend like 2 million rubles, and then it's like, I'll be using those later.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's never any, I mean, I've never been one to hoard ammo.
Yeah.
Like ever. And then like literally, let me look, if I just right click and load ammo. Yeah, I've got 2,074 rounds of BP.
Yeah.
I haven't run a fucking AK and I don't even know how long, but it's like I can run AKs forever now.
And the I'm not going to say a perfect spot, but the armor availability is currently in a pretty good spot. The only place I found slicks and hexes recently are in stashes, like random crates or off players. I haven't been able to buy a slick, or they removed the barter for the hex. The slick barter is sold out every single time and you can only get one. They reduced the amount of times that slicks and hexes spawn on rogues. I have some. I can get some. I'm not saying that they're never in the game, but they're in a really good spot. And some of the ammo, some of the class 5 ammos that you can get off the rogues are some of the worst ones. If you shoot them up, you're repairing it. So it's even, but it's still a class 5 armor. The armor's in a good spot. If we brought the average ammo pen of the player way down, well, now we're talking about increasing the time to kill a little bit. Helmets might ricochet more shots. Face shields might actually matter outside of the Alton face shield, and armor would tank more shots. And so, like, I completely agree. Like, we could do that. You could make time to kill a little bit longer without having to, like, rewrite the game, rewrite the ballistic engine, increase player health. You could do it based on availability. I've been saying this for a while. Like, imagine a world where BP, BS, Igolnik, 55A1, 995 were all as rare as 7N40, the new AK round. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
when I've killed players that have been running at 7 and 40, and it's like one 60 round AK mag that's 37 and 40 and 30 BS rounds. They top loaded with 7 and 40 because that's all they have. And then when they only shot 3 rounds at me, like I was like, oh yes, I got 27 rounds of their 7 and 40. Like, it's so sick. So yeah, dude, I don't know.
I mean, I also have, I was taking notes on, when I had watched Tweak's video when he talked about inertia. I was taking notes about a video that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Like kind of in response, but you know, and then I've just been doing other shit. But some of the notes I have, it all goes back to the fact that it's just way too easy in some cases. It's way too easy in some cases to hit a lot of your shots, and then also way harder in other cases to hit your shots. So one of the things that I think that they could do is, I really think it should be like nearly impossible to have no weapon sway whatsoever.
Yeah.
Like if you're just sitting there and there's nothing. Like,
yeah,
it's remarkably hard when you have a fucking 6x scope to perfectly hold, you know.
Yep.
I mean, I'm not a fucking soldier. I'm sure there are, you know, fuck you, Navy SEAls, I killed, you know, Afghanistan, whatever the fucking copy pasta is. You know, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Yeah.
You fucking,
I graduated at the top of my class.
Yeah. You know, dude, that one.
So freaking good.
I'm sure there's already people in the comments. But like, yeah, I think you should have to have a bipod and or be fucking prone.
Yeah.
In a game like Tarkov, because now realize how basically every fight is you're side strafing while being shot, while full autoing a gun, while being able to, the recoil is between the mouth and the fucking eyes.
Yeah.
They if they nerfed move, like aim while moving, aiming while leaning, aiming while fucking like jiggle peeking, if they just made it so that you couldn't easily line up a headshot and go bang, right? Like if it was a little bit more inertia-y with the gun in your hands, then I think it would be, it would make the time to kill faster, because it would be like when the fight would start, it wouldn't be purely based on shots to kill. Yeah, it would be based on how many shots you can hit to kill. You know? So
okay, speaking of that, okay, so there's this guy, he's got 60 subs on YouTube. The video's only got like a few thousand views. He made a video about, okay, so in the podcast, so not many people have seen this. In the podcast, they talked about, they were showing the whole like the new dailies where it's just like kill PMCs with shotguns or SMGs. And they were showing that off. And in that, there was a little bit of video from in-game. He had like an ump or something with iron sights on it. And this guy broke down. He was like, something looked weird to me. So I went on customs with the same gun and the same iron sights, and there were no scabs, but I tried to shoot in the same locations, and then I put the video side by side. And in whatever build they were on, it was exactly as you described. So like what we have right now is our guns are bolted to our line of sight, right? Like if we get shot, like sometimes it splits a little bit, but as we're moving our character, right, it's like the gun is always, that's why point fire is so strong, always pointing. I mean, it's just bolted to where our vision is. It separated that a little bit. It was simulating exactly that, where like if I was going to jerk to the left, my eyes and my face would go first, and my arms are always naturally going to follow a little bit. And he broke it down. He put like center points on the thing, and he was like, this is my footage. And like the iron sight was always in the center point of the thing. And then the footage from the build, the dude whipped away, and it took a second for the gun to follow. Yeah.
So, I mean, I will say that Tarkov is one of the only games that that does anything like that well, which is why height over bore or it's why like people moving with hollow sights and the laser, they're like, everything's broken. It's like, well, no, because when your head's changing, you know, like there is a lot of that more than sorry, I'm fucking distracted by chat. It's more than a lot of other games, but I feel like it could still be.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like
there's
like
more they could do.
Yeah. I need to send you the video and you need to watch it because like this is like basically he's saying is I'm wondering if with this patch we're getting a new balance to that, and it looks like it could be. I don't know if it was just because they were testing out something they didn't talk about it, but like when you look at the footage side by side, the build they were on when they were doing the podcast, something is definitely different. More of what you want.
So I think I might have missed the beginning of what you were saying. What was the channel or the video? Was it a Tarkov thing?
Yeah, no, it was during. So no, this was just like a YouTuber made a video about this, but it was from the Tarkov podcast last week. Like Nikita, like Demirka was playing the game and it was on screen, or maybe it was a video or something. It was that.
Do you remember what like the name of anything was, like to search it?
Yeah, I mean,
I want to watch this fucking right now.
I mean, I can send you the YouTube video that the guy made about it. It was literally just during the podcast when they were talking about the dailies and weekly quests and how like they changed it to where it's now just kill people with SMGs. And you know how like every little quality of life thing they talked about, Nikita like opened up a little MP4 and like a video. In that video was footage of a guy shooting scavs, and the YouTuber took that footage and then recreated that and like frame by framed it and was like, something is different about this footage that they showed us in the new build of Tarkov that's coming in a few weeks. And
did he have the same exact gun too?
Yeah, he went into customs and got the same gun with the same iron sights and tried to shoot in approximately the same locations. And it was super interesting.
Huh. Well, yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, I almost feel like, and this is kind of, I don't know. I don't want to. It's hard to remember like what I've said about shit.
Yeah,
in the past, But like, you know how we complain about, you know, how the M4 is like dog shit now.
Yeah.
It's only because it's relative to every other gun. If every gun felt like the M4, then imagine what the time to kill was like.
Yeah.
Then, you know, shooting full auto and full strafing, it would be less shitty. So like one of the things I did yesterday actually, because we were having the same exact conversation, and I was basically saying how shitty the M4 is now, and I was basically saying how like it's not meta, and someone was like, "What do you mean it is meta?" You know, and I'm like, "Not any fucking more, dude." And I'm like, "Watch this," and I built an M4 with the hammer, the MUR 1S upper, the Raptor, the CQR, the NT4 like suppressor, the OG with the LVOA, like the OG M4, the OG meta M4. Because remember in one of the highlights portions of the video of the history of Tarkov, I'm on customs where there's the broken wall over by boilers, and and I like jumped over the thing and I went prone, and I literally was like just
Dude, it was insane,
there was no recoil, right? I literally took down two dudes with a 60. If there was 5 of them, it would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I literally went to the same exact spot, proned with the current thing, and it was like, you know, I'm like, this gun cost me like $500K to build. But I just feel like it would make everything so different. Like it would make longer range fights less of a perfectly line up with your head, you're dead. You know, you'd have to kind of be like,
exactly.
You know,
Yep. It would make exactly. It would make all medium range fights infinitely better because exactly that. Like all the times people are frustrated, I just get one tapped. It's like, well, they can just like kind of hold mouse one and follow you and but like you would actually, it would be a lot harder to fight at that distance and you would be able to like flank and hear where somebody is and then move away.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at there's people already commenting about like whenever I invoke real life, I'm not saying this is good because it's realistic. I'm saying this is a realistic thing that is also would be good for the game. Yeah. Which is two totally different things, right? It's like saying I'm a doctor, therefore anything I say about health and medicine is right, which is bullshit because there's plenty of quack doctors. But when you say, here's the research I've done and the conclusion I've come to, and I'm also a doctor, it's a different argument, right? You're not saying it's right because I'm a doctor. You're saying, here are my credentials, right? Yeah. So what you wouldn't want to do is say this would be good for the game, it'd be more fun, but it's totally out of fucking left field. Like, laser guns would be good and like aliens would be good. Okay, well, that doesn't make sense in the kind of the world, right? But there are plenty of other abstractions. Like if you watch my realism versus immersion video, it's about immersion. But yeah, so if you watch any clips or like helmet cams of people overseas in Afghanistan or Iraq, you see all those dudes with fucking M4s and ACOGs, and what every fight is like they're standing in a wall and they go, "Brup, brup, brup," and I bet you none of those bullets fucking hit anything the vast majority of the time. You don't see them going, "Clink, dead, clink, dead, clink, dead," because it's not fucking easy to hit moving targets shouldering a rifle while you're standing. But in Tarkov it is. Yeah. You put a fucking
because we're using a mouse and keyboard because we don't weigh anything. It's I just don't care anymore about the people that about the realism, because if you are too brain dead to understand the nuance of what a realistic video game should be, then I won't be able to explain it to you. You know what I mean? Like the difference there, like realism does not just mean exactly like you said, this happens in real life, so it should happen in Tarkov. It is not a 1-to-1 comparison, okay? Because then once again, like we've said a million times, then you'd have to get rid of painkillers. And if you got shot in the head with a helmet, you would fall over. If you got shot in should we add knee hitboxes? Because if I got shot in the thorax, I might be able to still run. If I got shot in the knee and it blew my knee to smithereens, I'm going to fall over. I'm going to be crawling and crying, hallucinating. Okay, an Advil isn't going to do anything for me. 1-to-1 is not what we want. And if you can't understand that, if you can't understand that a realistic game is going to be the best realistic game of all time is going to be absolute light years away from reality, then I just can't explain it to you. You're just dumb. Go play a different game. It's just that I'm tired of having to defend like, but didn't you say you wanted realism? Yes, I want realism. Well, that's not realistic. It's like, I'm so tired of that. Like if you can't comprehend that this is a video game at the end of the day, then call me whatever you want on Twitter or whatever and go play a different game, because you're just shut up. I don't know, man. It's just like, I'm so tired of having to qualify every statement to avoid the gotcha. Well, you said you wanted realism. Well, now you're saying this. Like, dude, whatever. I know what is really trying to happen here. So whatever.
The way that I've always looked at it is, if you can think about a feature that's good for the game, then you have an argument for something that should be in the game. If that feature is also realistic, then fucking rad.
Beautiful.
If it's not, cool.
If it's not, cool. Does it maybe serve a more realistic experience? Does it make me create more realistic portions of the game? Cool, you know what I mean? But it doesn't have to be, as long as it's
not science fucking fiction.
Exactly. Because painkillers are a great example of that. is it realistic? Because that's the easy one that I always throw out when people throw the rose. Like, well, then you have to get rid of ibuprofen. Is it realistic that an actual ibuprofen, or better yet, lip balm, fixes my broken leg? No. But am I glad that mechanic is in the game? Yes. Because it's all an onion. You peel back the layer. Am I glad, like, is it cool that when I get shot in the leg, I limp? Yeah, that's cool because that's realistic. Okay, well, what am I going to do about that? Am I going to have to limp until I get to cover and then perform a 45-minute field surgery on myself, then rest and hydrate?
Call in the helicopter to medevac you.
Rest and hydrate for the next 6 to 8 hours, and then only then will I be able to walk. Not run, but walk. So am I glad that that unrealistic thing is in the game? Absolutely. Can I acknowledge it's unrealistic? Yes. Even though I want a realistic game, am I calling for removing the payload? No. And that's just the way it is, man. I can want a realistic game that provides realistic experiences, and I can also be glad that some of these sacrifices are made so that that experience can be fun and realistic.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And actually, what just popped into my head, you know how you can't use a splint before you have a break?
Yeah.
They won't even let you. Why don't they
there's-
just make it so you can't take a painkiller
Yeah.
until you have like the tremor effect or whatever,
Yeah,
right? Like
or
there's
pain.
lots of
there's
little
like a pain effect. Yeah.
Yeah, like so we need to think outside of the box. Make it a little bit harder to aim while moving, limit the supply, make it so that you can't, pre-med because it doesn't make sense to be methed out 24/7.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for the game to constantly. I hate that I know this is the right thing to do, but I just fucking reject it. I'm not gonna do it because I hate it so much. Spawn into the raid, whip out your fucking golden star, rub it on the inside of your wrist like it's fucking woman's perfume and you're at Macy's, and then like now you're good for fucking 10
minutes. Yeah.
Which is basically the whole fucking raid.
Yeah.
I just fucking hate it. And I refuse to do it. And people are like, what do you expect when you get shot and your leg broken, you were limping? I want to fucking limp. And I want to fucking limp to cover. That's actually a cool mechanic. If a limp doesn't mean you have 7 seconds. Oh no, my stream.
It just came back for me.
I didn't drop any frames at all.
I thought it was my internet. And then literally as soon as you realized it, it came back. So
weird. Okay. Were you able to record or was
you were perfectly fine for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It must have just been Twitch.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So I just hate that that's in the game. And what I was saying when the internet cut out or when Twitch cut out for everybody was basically when like the limping mechanic is cool because it puts pressure on you.
Yeah.
But in this game right now, it's like you have been webbed by fucking Spider-Man. You're gonna be dead in 3 seconds. There's nothing you can do other than stick your morphine in your forearm and hope that they don't shoot you in the interim. It would just be, imagine how much cooler it would be if you fucking broke your leg and you had like 15 meters to limp while the other person from 200 yards away was trying to hit a shot, but it's fucking hard when they're wiggling and whatever. Like, I mean, think about how hard it is to shoot when you're out of breath.
Yeah.
Or you have a blacked out arm. I feel like the default should be somewhere in between not moving at all and blacked out arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then it would be, it's really fucking hard. Unless you're, do you fucking know who I am? I'm a military, Navy SEAL, whatever. Unless you're that guy, and there are a few people in my chat who might be that guy now, like literally, like not ironically, not joking, like memeing, but like some badass motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But like otherwise, it's fucking not easy.
Yeah.
To, especially if you have, like, let's say you have a fucking like bore laser on your gun, you're out of the range, and there's a torso target at 300 meters. Try and keep that between their eyes.
Right after you ran 200 meters.
Yeah,
full
like
sprint.
Dude, I've literally, like, to me, and again, I'm not saying this is the way that the game should be in this case, but like whenever I've been shooting, I can literally, my heartbeat is like,
Yeah.
like fuck, like
Yeah.
that fucks with my, because again, I'm not like a pro, and I'm probably like nervous at a shooting range with a bunch of people around and whatever. But
for sure. And it's
well, someone in chat just said, shit, at 300 meters, try and just keep it on the target while standing with no support. Yeah, and this guy has been in more combat than any of us have actually fucking played in video games. Probably been in real life.
Yeah. For sure. And so like, and that's the thing is like, people, this is one of the most frustrating things about the community is that like, this is broke. What if we fix it with this? And people are like, no, because this other really blatantly broken thing would just be more broken. And I'm always like, I hear ya, but what if we just also fixed that? Whoa. Because that's exactly what you're saying. Well, if we make it so you can't pre-med, then I'm going to get laser beamed from 300 yards away. What if that wasn't a part of the game? You know what I mean? Like, what if you couldn't do that? Like, I hate how short the thinking is. It's always just like, no, that would make it worse. Why would it make it worse? Would it make it worse because of a bunch of things that are working properly in the game? Or would it make it worse because of a bunch of things that are like everybody in the whole community is frustrated about? Well, if it makes it worse because it would just make worse all these other things that it's frustrated about, we should just make those things better. You know what I mean? We should fix those things because that universe you painted is much different. Yeah, imagine where like engaging at 100, 200, 300 yards is much, much harder. And all of those like, if you added a little bit of sway when you're clearing dorms, it wouldn't change anything, right? It's too close. The target is big enough. It wouldn't change anything. But if you're out on reserve and you see somebody 200 meters away off spawn and you try to hit him, you'd be like, you might hit him in the leg. That guy has to limp. He goes, oh no, I know where that guy is because I heard it. I can get to cover. Then I get to cover and I paint kill. And now I use the cover. Like, it would be cool. You know what I mean? And so it's just like, think critically enough when somebody proposes a change to not just immediately be like, well, another broken thing would be more broken. It's like,
dude, we can't have electric cars because there's only gas stations and you have nowhere to charge them. So can't have electric cars.
Yeah.
Why don't we make charging stations for them?
Yep.
Oh, wait. Shit.
I guess that's pretty cool.
Then the fucking fuel industry would go on it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So
but then if you don't pre-med, then
it's so hard.
Fuck.
I mean,
I'm with you, dude.
This goes back to the conversations we've had many times where like in chat, it's impossible to know. Like some people are genuinely contrarian for the sake of it. They just want to argue. They just want to fight. They had a bad day. They didn't finish their homework and they just want to fight. Some people legitimately only... And not even that they're stupid. This isn't like a dig. Some people just legitimately only think 1 inch deep. You know what I mean? They just can't think past like, or they don't naturally think past, well, if we change that, then this would be broken. And I want to talk to those two people very differently. Like if you're just trying to argue, then just get out of here. But if you just like legitimately hadn't considered that, and so it's so hard. It's so hard. And it's so hard when, we've talked about this a lot. You come off such a dick when I'm like, listen, I know what you want. Like, I know that if I got in there and these changes would make, I know that you would be happy. You would think this is a better game. Well, then you just come off.
I can't go through the 7-step fucking process while I'm in the middle of the raid.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
And so it's just like, it's hard, man. I don't know. I
mean, here's the thing. Too many people can only conceive of there's 4 knobs. I can turn armor class up. I can turn pen down. I can turn damage up. I can turn your fragmentation down. And that's all they can think of.
Yeah.
Right? But the thing is that like in the design of a game like this, there's 8 billion knobs, levers, switches, buttons, and then there's a wall over there that you've never seen before with a whole bunch of other things and a whole million other things that you could build onto it. Like I said, think outside of the box. Like 3 or 4 of the things that we have just talked about are things that nobody ever brings up. Nobody ever brings up when they talk about, the frustrations with the game or whatever. It's
just make this gun great again, nerf this ammo, and it's just it's the same 3 to 4 things Always. It's always reduced down to those 3 to 4 things when it's so much more complicated than that. And if you think a little bit more critically, or even if you don't think more critically, if you're just willing to hear a little bit more critical thinkers, then you actually realize that there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things they could change. There's a lot of tweaks they could make.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. Like, think about Tarkov, not like CSGO, where there's the fire rate or the like they think about it like it can either one tap a light armor or 2 tap a heavy armor.
Yeah.
Like they think, do I buy a helmet? Because the helmet survives to the fucking USP, but it doesn't. It's so binary and really easy.
Yeah.
Tarkov is more like a fucking vehicle where if you wanted to make changes to the performance of your vehicle, is it pistons? Is it compression? Is it the fucking timing? Do you add a turbocharger? Do you fucking add a supercharger? Do you tune something? Do you add nitrous oxide? Do you put on high performance brakes? Do you turn the whole thing in carbon fiber? Do you, like, there's a million things you can do to change it. But all anybody ever talks about is, do I put a turbo on or do I put slicks on the tires? Do I have treads or are they slicks? Or we just put on a turbocharger. You want it to be, have better traction. Well, then we need to nerf it. So take the turbocharger off. But I want it to go faster. I have more fun. Okay, well then put a fucking a bigger turbocharger on. Well, we just removed the that's every fucking Tarkov conversation.
Yep.
Now I'm out of breath.
Dude, I feel you. So I don't know. I'm interested to see. You should watch that video after the one I sent you, and I'm interested to see if maybe like subtly that's happening where they're increasing the kind of like weapon sway / breaking the lock of like camera.
I mean, I wonder if some of that is like the new engine, because you look at like the new ragdolls and the new movement, like the way that their legs are moving. It's a lot closer to what Tarkov kind of used to be. If you watch the old like Willers movies, it's like you see the guy walking and you see the way that their arms move and they're fucking everything looks different.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, or maybe they're all just fucking level 1 PMCs. All their stats are nothing, and they haven't properly configured. Just like with the revolver, Nikita was like, ignore the specifics because he shot the 3M like 97 times with fucking 357 magnums.
Yeah, true.
Maybe a lot of the stats are just janky, or who knows. But again, at the same time, think about every time I show one of the trailers, like the Interchange trailer or the early release trailer, and people watch it, they're like, yo, that gameplay looks so sick. It looks so much fun. And that's because there's a bunch of people slow walking around.
Yeah.
Some people kind of behind cover with flashlights that actually work, but nobody plays like that because there's no punishment to sprinting, jumping around, full auto spraying while wide peeking and in ping and everything. Those guys are on fucking LAN. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Dude, flashlights. Don't even get me started on those. They're so bad. Anyways, I completely agree. And we'll see. We'll freaking see. I know that I'm sure in some way, like, because I think they've said in the past that like sometimes when they add new features or add new guns, like they kind of intentionally either overtune it or like make it more available to like test it. So I'm just interested to see what eventually comes of them deciding to go through and kind of balance the game and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what so many people said to me yesterday. They were like, what's with the power creep? I'm like, they add new shit. And if they don't make it good, then no one's going to use it. So they have to make them good. But then everybody uses it, so they bitch about it.
Yeah.
And then the next thing that comes out is going to be OP because they have to make it fucking better than anything else. Otherwise, what's the point of new shit if it's just objectively worse than the old shit? Look at like the Vepr Hunter. When it first came out, everybody's like, this is going to be the new fucking thing.
Yeah.
And everybody... nobody uses the Vepr Hunter anymore. I haven't looted a single Vepr Hunter off of a PMC.
Yeah.
But it used to be the biggest, baddest, fucking scariest thing for like the 2 weeks after it first came out.
Yeah.
Because people didn't realize how good like 308 was.
Yeah. No, for sure. And so like it's exactly that. It's like at this point they're adding new stuff. We're at a point where like the scars weren't that big of a deal because we have so many 308 and 5.56 guns. You know what I mean? But like the mutant really brought 7.62 back to the map. Like even though the AK-103 and the AKM were in the game, they weren't utilized much. Like the most popular 7.62 gun back in the day was the SKS. It was the budget destroyer. They added the mutant.
Well, that's because the meta AK back then had a lot more recoil than like the meta AK-74 or the M4.
Yeah.
So it was just better.
Yeah.
But now they kept it here. The M4 was down here and the AK was up here. And what they did is they brought the fucking M4 and the AK, the AK-74s and whatever up here. And now all of a sudden the AKs are some of the best performing weapons, but they really haven't changed.
Yeah. And so when they add something brand new to the game, that's like brand new, like the GL, like the Mark 18, they're always relatively available at the beginning. And I'm sure in some way that's because they want people to use them. They want to test them. They want to see if there's anything wrong with them or truly how powerful they are in the scope of all the things. And then they normally nerf them, whether that's due to player feedback or just their own feedback. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I'm super interested. The closer we get to some Ethereal 1.0, I'm really interested to see if there's going to be some point where they're like, okay, now let's just go through and balance everything. You know what I mean? Like now that it's like, this is pretty much what we're going to ship. Let's make sure it's, because I feel like Nikita said that before.
Yeah, I mean, and I hate to I feel like we're coming to the end of this and I still have more fucking things that come to mind. But I mean, the other thing that everybody always says at this point is, well, it's a beta, The thing is, the reason why like we're upset, or at least I'm upset about this shit so commonly, is like, yeah, it's a beta. But if we don't bitch about it and we don't let our opinions be heard, then they'll assume everything's fine. And when they ship it, they'll think everything's fine.
Yeah.
We have to say the things need to change so that when it comes out of the beta, it gets fixed.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so... I mean, yeah, like the fact that it's a beta reinforces us saying all of these things are busted.
Exactly.
It's because the worst case scenario is for the things never to change because nobody complains.
Yes. And how you do that matters, which we've talked about many times. That's why at least I reserve a lot of my criticism for the podcast when I'm talking to somebody else, when, we can like think critically about it. Maybe I didn't realize that this thing was more or less busted than I thought it was. Dude, that being said, really quick, I'm going to add something. I don't ask you to do this, but you need to text Nikita about something. Are they aware that when I press G, I pull out a random grenade? Because that's the most... I'm going to actually full circle this.
This is like episode 11 of my user experience shorts. Just hold G and let it be a scroll menu.
Listen, I think we should add that, but I don't think that's enough. Let me explain. Okay. The old system was perfect. Sans the ability to just chuck grenades out of my face constantly. They fixed that. The grenade is a two-stage process now. Okay? Right?
Okay.
The old system was perfect. If we had that with the two grenades through in the order...
Is it really random? It's not the order of your rig?
I swear to God, it's completely random. Bring in 6 grenades... Bring in all 3 flashes, all 3 frags, and just start spamming G. It's completely random. It is completely random. And it's so annoying. And here's why. This is Jesse's thesis. This is my soapbox, okay? This is actually full circle. This is an unrealistic thing that's worse for the game. This is the double-double. This is stupid. If I am a freak...
Just reach into your backpack, like,
that's what
rolling the dice.
Exactly. If I've got 6 grenades strapped to my chest, and I'm not going to close my eyes and rip one, and then... Because, like, you literally... Like it's the most.
Put them in the bingo ball where you spin the thing. And
Oh,
you just,
dude, for real. Dude.
oh, B-17.
It's crazy. It's crazy because that abstraction is so weird that the PMC wouldn't know what grenade he has until it's up into his peripheral vision. Oh no, I pulled out the impact. I wanted the flash. Oh no, I pulled that. Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy to me. So,
all right.
Okay.
Here, I'm fucking testing this right now.
Dude,
grenade.
You don't have. Okay, do it, but you don't have to.
I have to do it to believe it.
Anyways, can you?
I can't even see what I pulled out though. That's the problem. I'm like looking at my hand and I can't tell. Which,
Are you in?
Okay.
Are you in the game?
Yeah. I mean, all I see is like the. Okay, I think that's a Zarya. Okay, let me hit. No, fuck off, dude. I didn't bring a gun, so I have to pull out my melee. G. Okay, now I took out an F1.
Dude,
oh no,
dude, see?
No.
Thank you. Okay, so let me explain.
Wait, now it pulled out the RGD. I think it cycles
No,
through them.
It's random, dude. I have pulled out enough grenades.
Okay, it pulled out the RGD again,
dude.
Come on.
Thank you. Okay,
that's a bug.
So
it's got to be a bug.
Let me explain why we were so close to greatness. Okay, so obviously the realism thing. That is an argument there. It's an unrealistic thing that is, in my opinion, objectively bad for the game. So that's where the realistic argument comes in. Like, dude, who the hell would not know what grenade? I'm not pulling these out of my backpack. That's the point. If they're in my backpack, I can't press G.
Yeah, but that has to be. It's a bug, though.
I'm pretty sure it was in the patch notes, dude. When in 12.12, I remember this. We read the patch notes for 12.12, and me and Sealable, we were on a Discord call, and we both went, there's no way that means I'm going to take out a random nade, right? And we were like, yeah, no. They phrased that weird. And then they did it. And then it was in the thing. There's so...
Dude, I typed in grenade, and the first thing that highlighted in like the control F was I saw random grenade, but I kept hitting enter. I got to go back. What?
Dude. Yes, it's like
remove the ability to quick throw grenades. Now when you press the hotkey, your character will take a random grenade from your chest rig or pockets. What?
Dude, you've got to talk to Nikita about this because this is the other half. This is what I'm trying to get to. This is the other half of why this is so messed up. Because in this patch, they added 2 new flash grenades, they added a new smoke grenade, and they added 2 new impact grenades. Okay, so now there's 3 different fragmentation grenades, 2 different impact grenades, 2 different smoke grenades, and at least 2 different flash grenades. So there's a minimum of 9 different grenades in the game. Okay, and why? Why have more than just 1 grenade in the game, right? Why have more than just 1 smoke, 1 flash, 1 frag? A choice, right? Maybe I bring an M67 if I want to throw long. Maybe I bring... Oh no, there's Vogs too, so that's 2 additional freaking fragmentation. So there's at least 11 grenades, okay?
Did you say impact grenades?
Yeah, I said impact grenades, the Vogs. So there's at least 11 grenades. This wipe, I swear to God, Veritas, because the green smoke is pretty cool. Every single raid, I would bring 2 frags, 1 flash, and a smoke. Every raid. If I knew I could trust pressing G meant I threw a frag, I would bind the smoke to 7 and I'd bind the flash to 8. And that way, no matter what happened, I knew I could just throw the grenade that I wanted to throw. And because I'm bringing more than 1 frag, I know if I just hit G and throw and then I hit G again, it's going to throw the second frag. And because everybody's like, whenever I talk about this on my chat, everybody comes up with these more complicated solutions than just what we already had. It was like, well, just bind all your grenades. But if I want to bring 3 different types of grenades, but if I want to bring more than one of those types of grenades, like the fragmentation grenades, well, now I need to bind 4 different numbers. And so, but if I bind, some people's like, well, then just bind 7 on frag. And it's like, what if I want to throw my second frag? Now it'll be the only one unbound. And which your thing about the hold G scroll reel, that's a good thing to add, but not as the way to do it. I want to just be able to press the G key and know what nade I'm throwing. In the heat of the moment in battle, I don't want to hit G and scroll. Sometimes I might if I get behind cover, but if I want to hit G, I just want to know what grenade I'm going to throw. And the fact that they made the grenade a 2-stage process and added more utility grenades with the old system of me being able to lay it out how I want, it would be perfect. It would promote people using grenades as a utility and not just frags. But because people are confused as to what grenade they're going to throw, nobody brings flashes, nobody brings smokes, and it'll stay that way. I am like, I really want to know why they think they needed to do that. It's such an unrealistic thing that's not good for the game.
Yeah, I'll admit. It's 3 a.m. in Moscow.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Not right now. Just I'm very
I'll ping them.
Passionate about this. If you haven't,
I'll ping them tomorrow. I mean, I've never would have thought of this because fuck grenades. I fucking hate them. And as soon as I pull them out, I die.
If you're solo, it's so much worse.
Although I did finally, for some reason, I always end up fucking this up, and like I'll hear someone pull out a grenade, and I'll run the other direction, and then that's like, no, you run directly towards them. Because, like, what can they do?
What can they do?
It was literally like around the corner in the underground of factory, and I was like talking shit, and we both sprayed each other, and we were both fucked up. Like I had like 72 HP with like 3 heavy bleeds, and I hear, and I'm like, I just go running in, and you see the guy like, oh shit, you know, like he like throw it, but like at the ground around the corner, and I was just like, and just sprayed him down. But yeah, like, so would you be okay if it was like it was before, where it was based on the order? Now, I will say that I never actually really quite knew what the order was, if it was like top down or top left or
pockets left to right, then rig left to right, top down.
Okay. So would you be fine if they just went back to that?
Yep.
And then they added you can like double tap G or whatever the fuck it is, whatever it is for reloading mags. The thing I also never use.
It's R and scroll wheel, and you can select between your mags.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that'd be perfect.
I think that would be perfect.
That to me would be. That is to me an abstraction of looking down and being like, flash, taking it off your thing. It's just as quick.
I think going back to the old system and adding that would be perfect, because then you have a flow of your nades, and then now you have 2 different options as to, because once again, remember, player option, we talk about this all the time, giving the power to the player is the best thing ever. So now I have 2 different options on how to access my secondary grenades. I could bind them, but maybe I've got, like, you know, cheese and a painkiller and a hemo and a stim bound, and I don't have enough numbers for 3 grenades. Well, now
take your fucking hand off of WASD.
Yeah. Now if I just hold G and scroll wheel like that's better, because now I have options. Or if I just go in with a grizzly and a hemo, because grizzlies kind of do everything, maybe I can bind 4 different nades to my thing. So it's giving the power to the player to be like, this is the order it's always going to be in, but if you want to be able to quickly access a utility nade, there's multiple ways to do that. It would be perfect. And I don't know why they did it in the first place, if it was still again to the whole like grenade thing. It seems like it did exactly the opposite of what they wanted it to do, because the problem was people were just throwing way too many grenades. And so maybe they were like, this will help people not throw so many grenades, but all it does is it reinforces the fragmentation grenade meta. If you just bring all fragmentation grenades, then you can just press G. You know what I mean? And then it doesn't matter. So they add all these things, and it like completely contradicts the addition of those things and reinforces the behavior they didn't like. So going back to that and then adding that thing would be perfect.
Yeah. So to me, it seems like it would be, I guess I'm not totally convinced that it would change anyone's behavior. Like, to me, it seems like a better quality of life, user experience. It would make it a better feature that, you know, they fucked up the feature, and going back to the way it was, plus adding that nice scroll wheel thing would be better. But I just don't think people don't use smokes, because either they don't have confidence in them, because historically they've always been A, bad, and B, client side, so they've just been unreliable. But flashbangs are like awkward, and they've never been like amazing, mostly because the grenade physics is terrible. You never know where the grenade is gonna land. So like 50% of the time you throw the grenade on like the narrow edge of the doorway, and it just hits the thing, lands down, and like hits the door jamb, and that is basically like, it's like a sticky thing where, dude, the other day I was trying to fucking throw a grenade. I forget where it was. It was like downstairs or whatever. and I would throw the grenade. I would line it up what I thought was perfect, and it would go clink, clink, and just straight down into the corner. And it was like, what the fuck? And then I would like move, do it again, and every grenade just landed in the corner on the floor.
Dude, I have a clip to show you.
I think that's why people don't use, like, I don't think that if they fixed it, anyone would ever use flashes or smokes. Maybe you would, and a few other people would, but I don't think the average player would.
I agree with you. So here's the thing. One, it's one of those things where, like, as long as it's messed up, how would we know? Because we're actively, that there are things in the game that are reinforcing a specific behavior. So how do we know how people act? Two, yes, I completely agree. And that would be a whole nother conversation around, like, potentially like the balance of those things or the price of fragmentation grenades versus, I would love for the game to promote the more usage of that. I really think some people would. I know that I would use more flashes. I know that I would use more smokes. And yeah, maybe just as memes or something like that. But the other side of this is there are enough fragmentation grenades in the game that it's still an issue. Like, especially if you're looting Scav Boss or you loot a grenade case and you find, like, how many times have you looted a grenade case and you just control click there's an impact grenade and a flash grenade in there. Okay, well, I want to take those things, so I'm going to take them.
Well, I never take the flashes. That's why. Like, when I'm in labs and I loot the raiders, I take all their nades. And to me, all the nades are, I'm rolling the fucking dice. I'm going to YOLO it, grab a grenade. If it's longer fuse, shorter fuse, it might help me, it might hurt me. I don't fucking know. It's an RNG fest.
Yeah, but let's say you might be, but I think enough people either, like, maybe they've thrown all their grenades and they loot a buddy or they loot a dead body and the dude has a flash. And I would rather have that than nothing if I do want to get away from something. So I loot it all up and it goes to my rig. And then I'm in a situation where I want to frag and I hit G. Well, now I pulled out the flash. Or even, how many times do you need, maybe you need M67s for a daily quest, or maybe you like M67s, but you pull out one of those and it's got a 37-second fuse time you didn't know. You loot an impact grenade. You're trying to pull out your frag and you throw an impact grenade that it explodes and you're like, oh, well, that was a waste of an impact grenade. You know what I mean? Like, there's enough fragmentation grenades that it's still a problem. Like, it's still annoying, in my opinion. And then they're shooting themselves. Like, I agree that maybe the game doesn't incentivize us enough to use more of the utility grenades, but, like, they're adding them to the game, right? They're adding more of them to the game, so they want us to use them. So even if it doesn't change anything now, this change plus maybe later changes to price and availability of grenades would make it so maybe people would use the grenades. There's just like absolutely no reason on God's green earth to keep the system the way it is now. It's one of those things where people like doing what other people do. You know, a freaking Landmark makes a video where he starts bringing in 2 flash grenades every time and using them and getting funny kills. You bet other people would start using flash grenades. You know what I mean? It's just like, but nobody will in this current thing. I think, dude, step 1, like 911, in my opinion, get back to the old system plus the 2 stage, and then step 2, whenever they get a chance, add the G scroll wheel thing. Like, I just think, I don't know, man. It's super annoying.
Yeah. All right. Agreed. I'll put that on my my list, which right now is empty. Because fuck it. But I'll put it on my list of things to mention to Nikita. Yeah. One of the other. So I've been doing YouTube shorts, that have all been quality of life things. I have like 9 or 11 or something that are all done, and I've scheduled them 1 a day. That's cool. Every couple of days, I'm like busting out like 4.
Yeah.
They're all like 40 seconds long. And so one of the things I'm going to be talking about in an upcoming one, spoiler alert, is a few different things. One, I want control clicking items over into your kit, your rig, whatever. Or your backpack. And I show a bunch of examples where it's just better, where it should default to the smallest available applicable slot in whatever the container is. So if you have a chest rig that's got, 2 slot, 2 slot, 2 slot, 4 slot, and then a bunch of 1s around it, if you control click a grenade, put it in the fucking 1 slot.
Dude, yes.
Fill up the 1 slots first, so that, like, I don't want to pick up a grenade, have it go in the 2x2, so then later I can't pick up the like wristy helmet or whatever, because it doesn't go into my rig.
Yep.
So now, one of the examples I did, it was the first one, like I didn't like manufacture it. I had a bunch of examples, but it's a short, so obviously I can't put them in there. But there's the one backpack that has it's like a 3x5, like 2x5, or like a 2x6 or something, and then like a 2x3 at the bottom. It's got like the three.
I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the gunslinger,
maybe.
It's called the gunslinger, yeah.
So one of the example things that I was looting was a helmet, a P90 with a suppressor, a pair of Comtacs, and there was like one other thing. So like when I was looting that, I was like, okay, if I control click the helmet, then I'm gonna double click on the P90, control click the suppressor, then I'm gonna choose the helmet and then the Swordens.
Yeah.
And the way it ended up being was, it was the helmet went in the 3x2.
Yep.
The suppressor went in the remaining 1x2, and then it was helmet Comtacs filled up the other side, and then you have a fucking 3x5 area that's free. And it was like the first example I came up with, I was like, it's instantly better, because the alternative is helmet with an open slot, and then the suppressor would go like under the helmet horizontally, and then like the one helmet would go in here, another Comtacs would go here, and there was just all these awkward like empty one slot L-shaped things that was like terrible. Like if you play Tetris and you're bad at Tetris, you just have a bunch of fucking blocks all over the place with empty space. Like, I wanted to do like a bin packing algorithm where it's like the most efficient way of doing it. So then piggybacking off of that, I wanted control clicking medical items should default not to your backpack first, but your pockets. So if you control click an IFAK, put it in my pocket so that I can quickly hotkey it if I need to. Now I'm not sure about rigs. I think it should go pockets then backpack. But like if I have used a painkiller and I'm control clicking like a morphine off of a dude, I want it to go to my pocket. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna do it for a grenade, chances are if my pockets are full, then I probably have slots in my rig. I don't know. I just think that would be better.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the space saving would 100% make more sense.
Yeah, and I had a big list of things like 3 years ago that I was gonna tell Nikita to change, but they've already done a bunch. Like when you control click cache, it goes into your protector case. It didn't always. It used to just be like every other loot. Although I feel like if you control click like a Bitcoin, like certain items should go. If I control click a Bitcoin, I almost feel like they should go directly into a wallet or a dock case.
If there's an open slot,
But maybe not like a LEDX, even though it's like a treasure loot expensive item. I feel like Bitcoin, like anything that can fit in a docs case, when you control click should go in the docs case.
Because it's where you're going to put it.
I'm not totally convinced on that, but I would prefer that personally. I don't know that that's like OP or whatever. I don't think so.
I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I have a whole bunch of fucking inventory related things I'm excited to show.
Didn't they like tease or at least talk about the ability to like lock containers and stuff like that? So
for sorting?
Yeah, sorting.
Well, that's
like
the one that comes after that.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to lock like a docs case. So like my keys, I put money, like my customs case, I put money in there. But it always spends the money in there for insurance or when I'm like buying ammo.
I thought they fixed that. I'm pretty sure they fixed that.
No, it happens all the time. It's no. But this docs case is in my stash. So say those are my customs keys, so I put cash in it. But I have my shoreline
like
keys.
Your gamma.
Yeah, okay. So my shoreline keys in my gamma, but I just want to lock that and be like nothing in or out of this. You know what I mean? Unless I use it, and then that way. Because sometimes I just swap out my keys. I go in the raid, and I was like,
4-number PIN code.
I put 100,000 rubles in here. Like, why is for the car? I get to the car, I have no money. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah. Another one of the things that I'm also proposing there, and maybe we should talk about these things like once a week. A few of these things, because I'm sure a lot of these things are off the top of my head. And I know that there would be little tweaks that I think would be better, you know, like this grenade thing I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah.
So like, but yeah, so another one of the things that I'm going to propose is, that the sort feature when you're in your stash, that it's not just a button, that it's essentially, think about the filter and sort on the flea market.
Yeah.
Remember my settings, you know, whatever. Basically what I photoshopped a window to like match the whole aesthetic of everything, but it's what I want to be able to do is say sort by type, sort by name, or maybe have like a default, which is what it is today. It's probably the ID, honestly. It seems totally random. It's probably like the 64-digit fucking UUID string, you know, which is just a bunch of random characters in the database. But then I also have a checkbox for ignore containers. So if you sort your whole stash, it would just do the loose shit and not any of the containers. But then also move to, and I have a drop down, top or bottom. Imagine being able to go and put all this stuff that you want in your containers. So I also have another one that is go to your med container, right click and do fill.
Oh yeah, I saw
and
that
it will
one.
just move everything that is applicable. And then I also have another one that is right click and say empty, and it will put it in your stash. Or same thing with your backpack. You get out of a raid, your backpack's full of shit. You just go right click empty and it moves everything over. And if you run out of space in your inventory, it goes into the sorting table. Like easy peasy. But yeah, I mean, like it would just be cool because some people have all of their shit on the top and containers at the bottom, or vice versa. I like to have everything like top loaded, but there are times where sometimes I have like longer term things I want to put at the bottom that I'm not using. Like actually I have a bunch of meds at the bottom, like half used Salewas and a bunch of other shit, because another quality of life thing I'm doing is you should be able to click and drag and have it combine. But I also want a drop down menu to right click and say consolidate all. And what it will do is it will do it with money, do it with ammo. And do it with meds or like water bottles. It should basically, if you have 20 of them all with one left, it should throw out the other ones and reduce it to one with 20. Like combine everything. God, I have so many of these things that each one of these I'm fucking throwing in an episode. But but yeah, it would be cool to be able to sort, right click, you know, sort, have the menu and say, sort by group, you know, by type. So it's like all the medical items, all the gear, all of the weapons, because now it seems like it does that sometimes. But then just being able to say order by, group by, put it at the top or the bottom. And then think of how fucking nice it would be doing inventory management when if you have a full inventory like I did not long ago, to right click on your scav junk box and do fill.
Dude.
Right click on your scav junk box and do fill. That would be 95% of your stash. And then you right click on your fucking
ammo
thick item case
and
your ammo. Like
it would be insane. That would be so good. That would be so good. All reducing the amount of time we spend in the menus, getting us into the game faster, less time spending organizing stashes and selling things, just vendoring things, even though I know I could sell it for more on the flea because I just don't want to take the time. Like, it's all good.
I'm adding that to my list of lock. So you think you would want to lock the, like maybe the option is lock contents. And that would be anything that's in there can't be moved. So keys or, so anything that's in there can't be moved or used. Oh, not used, but like, so if I had hit lock now, it would be all my keys and like key card holder or whatever. And then if I go into a raid and I drag and drop, you know, I almost said dinero, fucking rubles. What the fuck? Drag and drop the dinero on fucking into your case.
So random.
I don't know, man. I'm delirious. Then like you could it got put in after it was locked, so you could move it. I don't know.
I don't know how it would be. Maybe it's just like a let me right click a container and click use first for my money. It's just like if you're spending money, I want you to spend it out of my money case, not my docs cases. You know what I mean?
I'm trying to think of what my the engineer in me is I don't even know why, because I haven't thought it through, but my gut instinct is like that's one of those weird things that might be complicated, and there's some use cases that are fucking annoying. You know,
Maybe.
like when you right click and do use first, and then it's like empty. And then there's another one that you never said use first, but that's like full.
Yeah, maybe.
Obviously you want it to take out of that one.
Yeah. I don't know what the logic is. I have 2 money cases full of money. I've got 3 docs cases full of money. I have 1 docs case I have 1 sick case full of customs keys with 12,000 rubles in it, dinero. And every time I buy anything, it takes the 12,000 first. Maybe it doesn't even have to be a player. Maybe it doesn't even have to be as big of a deal to make it where it's a user-driven thing. I just want to know what the hell the logic is. Then I've got
honestly, it's probably
I have a
super
house,
arbitrary.
and in my living room is just stacks and stacks of money. And you asked to borrow $5, and you are rummaging around in my wallet. It's like, there's a stack of money. You know what I mean?
No,
like,
I assume that it has something to do with. I doubt that they're individual IDs. It's probably just like temporal. Like it's probably you were gonna grab the lower right, the 12,000 rubles from like the lower right of your money case and put them in your thing, and then those have been moved more recently.
yeah, dude, yeah, maybe, I don't know.
It's probably that. So like when you get your 12,000 for like what, the car exfil or something, you're probably control clicking and splitting stacks, right?
Yeah.
Is my guess. That probably is like a creation of a new object.
Yeah.
A new item that
use the most recent object. It should, like, even if it was just like, if there was a string that was prefer full stacks of money when available, nobody would ever see that problem again, ever. Because everyone has at least one full stack of 500,000 rubles.
It's also that, I mean, I totally
prefer
agree
the
with you.
prefer the stack with the highest amount. Because then if you don't have any stacks at exactly 500,000, but if I have a stack at 493,000 and a stack at 12,000, it's like, yeah, use the 12,000 if that's my last 12,000 rubles. But in any other case on God's green earth, don't use that 12,000.
Yeah. So here's the only, again, like, it's not that I don't want that, but the only issue that I see there is that that's one very specific thing that you want. Whereas what you're talking about is if you just conceptually, I want to do that with ammo. I want to do that with cases. I want to be able to say when I control click, where does something go? I want to be able to say what the default split amount is. You could have a screen with 950,000 sliders, drop down menus, and boxes.
Yeah.
So it's like, in order for them to build a system where they even start with like define where you want to pull money from first. Like, it would just be better if it, like, they should just make the default behavior not fucking bad.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And then they won't need to give you 9 million ways to customize it.
I agree.
Just make it so that it automatically takes from, like, find the container with money, like preferably the money container. Like, the logic should prioritize money containers, not over if you have a chest rig with some rubles in it. Like, prioritize the money container with the least amount of money in it and grab the stack of money with the least amount of money first. And then if that amount of money is not enough, then take the remainder from the next largest stack. Like, that probably solves 98% of the use cases.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm sure right now it's probably the same arbitrary bullshit that they use to give you the craft order of things.
Yeah,
it's like when you do like a query, depending on the database type, but a lot of times when you do a query to pull data from a database and you say, give me all of the things that match this criteria, if you don't specify sort by name ascending, sort by ID descending, whatever, then it just gives you random shit every time.
That is truly one of the most egregious. Like, I know nothing about code, but I think that when that thing was getting done, the coder handed the computer to his nephew. Like, that and the fact that when I've got a rig and I've got 4 mags in a row, and I right click the first mag and I go fill with, and it gives me a list of ammo. I right click the second mask and it gives me the exact same list. I right click the third mag, it gives me the exact same list. I right click the fourth mag and everything's in a different order. I'm like, who? That's evil. That's evil.
That was one of my bullet points for the like UX shorts, and I tried to get footage of it. I don't know. I think they fixed it.
No, promise.
Dude, I could not. I tried for like an hour.
Really?
So like if I just do BP, I tried a million times and I could not. I mean, that's probably gonna happen first time. I could not reproduce it anymore. I did the ammo thing, and then I did the crafts list for all, and the order never changed.
But I wonder, it's got to be
fixed it within the last 5 days.
No, it's got to be something where like you go into a raid and it resets it for the crafting thing, because there's no way. Like I'm telling you, yesterday I was mauling about the ammo thing. Like there's 0% chance it's fixed.
Yeah, but when you're doing the ammo thing,
no, I'm saying the hideout
you're filling
thing,
up like 5 mags at once. Now I remember when I would do, because I'd always end up with one fucking mag with AP instead of BP. You know, for 7.62, because it was always the AP would be at the top or the BP would be at the top, and then like the third mag in, all of a sudden I'd click because of muscle memory.
Yep,
that's actually good. Maybe it changes when you run out of non-found in raid ammo. Yeah, that is probably. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna move the BP. I'm gonna split this. And then okay, so now I have one found in raid BP, one non-found in raid BP. And then let me right click.
Interesting.
And then let me, okay, wait. Okay, let me grab 29 of these, pulled it in here, click and drag, and then BP. No, dude, I cannot reproduce it. Fuck, I can't. I think they might have fixed it, dude.
No, I don't believe.
Dude, if they haven't, like, can you replay buffer that
I just did it right now. I just did it.
Fuck off.
Oh no, I won't have my screen up. I'll try and do it against that. Literally, I put 6 16 rounders of M4. I clicked fill, and the first one was 855A1. I clicked fill. Second one, 855A1, clicked fill. Third one, 995 was at the top. But I still have 700 rounds of 55A1, and the order is also not in how much ammo I have. I have less 995 than 55A1, but 55A1 is still not first on the list. The found in raid thing is the most likely argument I've heard, but I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't know. That could be it. But I just reproduced the bug. It might not be a bug. It might be like a.
No, I'm almost positive it's a fucking. I mean, that would be a bug.
Dude, it has to be that. I literally just did it again, and the exact same thing happened.
Yeah, so if you can replay buffer that shit and send me the clip, because I just need some B-roll to put over me talking, because I wanted to do that and I fucking couldn't do it. I'm like, wait, they must have fixed it,
dude. I'm telling you, it has to be because it's reproducible. Again, it's going to be 55A1, then 55A1, then 995. And when I fill this mag with 995, the next mag is going to say 55A1 again. Yeah, it's got to be something to do with like Finder. Yeah, well, I've literally just done this 6 times. As soon as the podcast is over, I'll just do it with these exact mags. It's absolutely still in the game.
Yeah, it's probably because there's a bunch of behavior, like someone just mentioned. There's a bunch of behavior around trying to avoid, which actually I can appreciate. Avoid talking about. Sorry, I'm reading chat while I'm talking. Avoid combining the not found in raid shit with the found in raid stuff, which I actually like.
I just want to be able to.
Now I'm wondering if that was an accident by them. Like if it wasn't something that they were like clever about. But imagine if like the not combining found in raid like stacks of money was like they're just separate IDs, so they're not similar, so it doesn't combine them. Whereas part of me was like, that's a thoughtful thing. Like, don't fuck me over.
Yeah.
By combining, like maybe you need an item, you need to hand in like 60 rounds of whatever found in raid. Fuck, dude. Now I bet you it's accidental, which makes me even more sad because it's like, I'd like to think that they're starting to think about basic fucking user experience, but maybe not.
Maybe not.
Oh, fuck. Well, all right. So then I guess I'll do that in another. You should see my fucking list, dude.
I'm
the quality
sure.
of life, the quality of life thing. Like before I took any ideas, I had 72 bullet points, and that was just while I was sitting in bed 2 days or 3 or 4 days ago.
Oh, did you see the bug with the mag, like where the mag stays? Like I was moving a mag from one cell in my rig to another, and I hit tab, and the mag, I had this happen with a Salua too. The mag picture stays on my screen in exactly that position no matter what. I'm out of my menu. I'm in the raid. And I was on labs and this happened, and I pressed R to reload, and the mag moved from the top left of my screen to directly in my crosshair. Like perfectly.
Fucking
And
lol.
every time I'd reload, it would reorient the mag on my screen either horizontally or vertically. Like I was on labs, if I ADS through my holo, all I could see was a mag. It was hilarious. And when I would hit tab, my TV rig, the texture for the TV rig was there, but the TV rig was gone. There were no cells to move anything around in.
I've never seen that. Weird.
Yes, dude. I killed a guy.
Fuck.
Anyways,
have you ever noticed in labs the doors that have the little windows?
Mm-hmm.
How you go to peek the window and the fucking breach open thing pops up directly in your like. Fuck, like.
Oh, dude! Somebody sent me somebody sent me a thing on Reddit. There's a certain door on labs. He breached it, and a bunch of like Unity textures fell out of it, like wood. They look like Minecraft blocks. They look like Minecraft.
The Doge.
Yeah,
the Doge icons.
It wasn't
remember
Doge.
those?
I do remember those. It was like wood. It was like a Minecraft wood texture. But it's like instead of dust coming off the doors, like all these like blocks came out and then just disappeared. It was so funny.
Oh, dude. Okay, I have two quick things. Have you ever seen the door in Factory that you can't open? That scavs can open?
Yes. I've been back there in that room, yeah.
It has like 2 boxes, and then it has another one of those boxes that's broken, like on Lighthouse where the loot is. So yesterday, there were 2 guys that insta-killed themselves. I was in forklift. They were around the corner by the door,
weird, bro.
And I heard the scav sprint over, and I heard the door opened, and then I peeked around the corner to where the breach room is, and the door was shut, and I was like, uh-oh. And I peeked around the corner. There were 2 dead fucking players that had grenaded themselves, and a scav like yelled at me at the same time, shooting his gun at the same time, opening the door.
Oh my god, that's
yeah,
so
I like
weird.
blew like 30 people's minds. I'm like, yo, you guys ever seen Gate 7? They're like, what? Someone said like what, Gate 5 3/4 or whatever the fuck. I'm like, that's fucking good.
That's good.
That's good. But then the other thing was, the USEC like 1 room, I think it is, in customs. You know the room with like the green screen?
Oh yeah.
Opposite that, underneath.
Yeah. Oh,
on the first floor. So, well, there's a couple things.
Yeah.
There's, the boxes. There's like 2 nested crates there.
Yeah.
But not even that. So you know how you can get into those rooms just jumping into the window.
Yeah. If you have high enough strength, you can just jump in.
Did you know that the room that's the leftmost room
Yeah.
when you're standing outside, it's locked from the outside, but when you breach it from the inside, it opens.
And you can kick it open. Yep. So
that was like the first time I was like, yo, that's actually sick. Like, I feel like you should be able to breach any door that in the direction that it opens.
Yeah. From the inside. Yeah. Yeah.
I
No,
mean, I was just watching Cops last night, and the fucking dude fucking kicked it. It took him 6 tries, but dude, I was expecting him to fail hard. They heard like a husband and a wife like domestic call, and the dude was like, the first kick, like boom, and the whole fucking door frame is like. I was like, whoa, holy shit, that's badass.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I guess we should definitely talk about before we end they teased 3 scav bosses on whatever day, yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah, dude.
from
Now we're
Lighthouse.
gonna be insta killed by cooler looking dudes.
Yeah, by
Awesome.
cooler looking dudes, by Big Pipe.
Big pipe.
Giant dick.
And every time I see him, I'm gonna go like,
God, dude, saying giant dick and then playing that. That gives me a totally different picture in my head.
anyways, so there's some things to talk about here. One, their art guys are S tier. Like those images are really, really good. Like those, they look cool. Their aesthetic is sick. Like,
Yeah, man.
they're so cool. It's so cool to see like facial hair. Like the one guy's bird eyes got longer hair. Like it's so cool. They're art guys, and like the world building that they do, it like is S tier. It's so good. Now, there was a lot of community sentiment of exactly that, where it's like it's hard to relish in that because it's like, oh, so I'm gonna get one tapped from a mobile grenade launcher now and not just the ones on the corner, and like, oh, this guy's got an RSAS with a 72 times scope. I'm gonna get shot from customs by this guy. Like, and I mean, get it.
They just point fire you from 700 meters away now, so his scope's fucking relevant.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, that's like freaking Reshala. Reshala will sometimes spawn with the 308 MDR with the Night Force 22 times scope on it, but he'll still full auto you through, you know what I mean, through customs.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous.
Now Nikita did say though,
Yes,
that they were not gonna fix. They were planning on fixing the rogue AI when they added the scab, the new bosses.
That's what I'm wondering. That's what I'm wondering. So
I'll
we've
keep my
got
mouth fucking shut until then.
We've got Big Pipe, who's got the 6 shot
Inch. Oh, sorry.
It's a lot bigger than 6 inches. The 6-shot grenade launcher.
What 6 inches isn't? Oh
No, that's plenty. Big Pipe. Now everybody's like, there's no way that's lootable. Like that's almost positively going to be lootable. Like
I hope it's not. I hope it's like Tegilla's hammer.
no,
dude.
but it will be. They teased like the models for that 6-shot grenade launcher like years ago, like just like every other weapon that they've added to the game. They also like it takes 40 millimeter grenades, and we have 40 millimeter grenades in the game. It's just honestly, if what it needs to be, in my opinion, is
Someone in chat just said the 6-inch guy's name is Average.
Average Pipe. Oh my god. What it needs to be is it needs to be like how like he should have more than one kit. And the GL kit is the rarest kit. So if he spawns, what kit does he have? If he spawns and he has the GL kit, do you kill him? Did you clear the rest of the rogues? Did you extract? Okay. And then it's not purchasable on the flea market. You can't sell it. You know what I mean? And then it's really not that big of a deal because we have GLs in the game right now. They're pretty rare, but like a lot of people are rich enough to barter for the GLs. They just don't. So
well, there's only like 4 in the world. Like in this, like when it resets, there's like 3 to 5 or something, isn't there?
So if they made it really, really rare. Now, I have been an advocate from day one that we should use more utility rounds for the GL instead of all fragmentation rounds, because then it would actually be fun. What if he covered you in smoke or like marked, you know what I mean? Marked an area for all the rogues to look that way. If
everybody within like a 300 meters thing is tagged and cursed.
Yeah, like stuff like there's stuff they could do. I don't think they will. I think they'll make it fragmentation. I think they'll make it lootable. That's what I'm thinking. Then we have Knight, who is far and away the most different aesthetic. He's the guy with the skull, the wire dreads, the freaking exposed arm. He's got a map on one arm and USEC and bear patches and dog tags on his other arm. He's got like a hatchet. Oh, that was so sick. He had a scar and like a Glock with a 21 round mag or something. Like, dude, that junk, he looks so sick. And then we got Bird Eye with the RSAS with the big old scope. He has an RSAS and it looks like a little like Mark 18 M4 on his back too. And dude, they just look so freaking cool, man. They just look so freaking cool. I'm excited. We have no word on when we're getting it. We have no word on what it's coming. I have questions like, do they always spawn? Because the rogues always spawn. I'm pretty sure they don't. Do they always spawn together? Like, can you play a lighthouse raid with no bosses, one boss, two boss, or three bosses? Like, that would be interesting. Like, that would be dynamic gameplay. Like, how many of the bosses are there? Where are they? There's one here. Should I check here before I kill this guy? That's interesting to me on where they spawn. But yeah, I don't know, man. I've been having fun on Lighthouse. I know, dude, if we got a rogue rework and some bosses, like, I think that could be pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I just want them to be fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
Nah, not dog shit, but just not like today, dude. I fucking saw Reshala once on the one raid. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go customs and like I'm gonna play a map other than Labs and Factory, and I heard a bunch of shit going down at a gas station and was like, oh, okay, that's the fucking boss. I was all the way over by like that USEC locked room.
Yeah.
Kind of peeked through the hole and all of a sudden like tracers come in. Like, okay, fuck. I ran all the way around like to the train tracks.
Yeah.
All the way back to where like the jump over with the porta potty is. I jumped up on the fucking roof of a car, this much head over the wall.
Yeah.
I aimed down sights. One shot to the chest, BT, I'm dead.
Yep.
It's like sick fucking raid, dude. Yep. Like,
I think like we've talked about the AI at length, so we don't have to go all the way deep into that. But like, I want the AI. I don't know how to say. I want them to speak a different language. I want them to be completely and fundamentally different. Like they spawn. Remember, like Killa, he spawned in one spot for a very long time. It was fun. The Keter farming days. He spawns there. And then I don't know what his logic is, but he wouldn't stay there. Eventually, he'd move around. He'd walk over here. He'd walk over there. He'd return to that point. Like, and that on Lighthouse is going to be so bad. When we're talking about Reshala, he can only spawn in 3 different places. All 3 of those places have an indoors and an outdoors. Like, he could be in the new gas. He could be in the fortress. He can be in dorms. So it's hard to spot him from a mile away and just take him. Lighthouse is Sniper City. If they have static spawns, even if they each have 3 different static spawns, somebody will find a rock where you can see all the places. Check here, check here, check there. That's him. Boop, headshot. Check here, check here. There's the second one. Boop, headshot. Like, I want them to be fundamentally different. I want every square inch of walkable ground in the water treatment facility to be a spawn point.
Yeah.
Have
them be
inch.
Everywhere.
And then when they spawn, they look around and they react. If they spawn towards the north, they might hide out in the building. If they spawn towards the south, they might hang out with those rogues over there in a connex. I want it to be like, you are never sure if the bosses are there or not. You can run in woods. You go, there. Sturman's not here. No. What if he was in the little admin shack or in one of the 3 crates or in the thing, but like spawned there and then reacted to his environment? You know what I mean? What if like their boss was over here, but if combat, like if, you know, red alert happened where like one of the rogues starts GLing one of the other ones, they all go on high alert. Maybe the bosses then move. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I want it to be such a different thing, because if it's not, like, Reshala's relatively balanced because you can't get his sight lines from everywhere. Lighthouse, it will be so broken if they have static spawns. It was so farmable.
Yeah, so I mean, to go along with that though, like, they need to be anywhere, but then you need to have time to be able to react.
Yes, exactly.
I want to go like, oh fuck, like with Tagilla.
Yes.
Dude, now these days, Tagilla, you instantly hear sprinting and then he just hangs out behind the fucking the blue dumpster.
They like broke him. He used to be
he used to be fucking awesome. I used
great.
to be like underground, and all of a sudden I would turn around and he would just be running at me. 98% of the time I hear like shuffling or walking around that I'm like, Tagilla, and I just peek him. And I go, ba, 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 and he just doesn't shoot. Like, you know,
his logic is trying to switch to the thing, and then by the time he switches, you've put enough bullets in him, he's dead.
Yeah. So,
no, I completely agree. That's the balance. Then I want to be on edge at all times about where they are, but that means if he spots me, if he surprises me, he can't insta 855 me from anywhere on the map. He needs to shoot in my general direction, surprise
and, like, run
me.
and move
if he
and
makes
yell.
a hit and I break line of sight with him, he should, once again, we're talking another language here. He should run away. He should flank. He should split. He should take cover. And when I re-peek, I'm like, I don't know where he is. Like those rogues down at the bottom, if you engage them, it's like you play with some of those guys like Rengar and Sheaf that have done it 1,000 times. They're like, oh, if they're not here, they'll just go here. Oh, once you aggro them, they're going to back up. They're going to walk to you and they're going to land right here. It's like, that sucks. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how you balance it. It's like, if I'm always on edge of where he is and he has the freedom to move around the entire water treatment plant, well, now he doesn't have to be so hard. He doesn't have to be so laser beamy, because sometimes I am going to be focused on a PMC, or sometimes I am going to have my guard down and he's going to kill me, but it doesn't have to be one shot, triple damage, 855, 300 meters away when he has iron sights. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because there's 7 other rogues and 5 other PMCs. Like, they don't need to be so hard that it's impossible to beat them when there's 13 threats.
Yes.
Everywhere all the time.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it just makes for shitty experiences.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, one of the best things, if you ignore how busted like Rashala's homies can be, one of the coolest things is when you kill all of his homies and you're like, where's
Rashala? Yep.
I honestly haven't. He's either the second person I kill every time, or the last. It's just been so long, or I die basically. Yeah. It's been so long since like I get into a fight. And like he should be like behind them all, you know, like in the middle of the first floor landing with like 2 guys on this floor up, or on the stairs up, and 2 below. Like, and if someone comes up from the bottom, he should run back, whatever. Like he should like protect the president, you know, kind of thing. And his badasses do all the work for him. But then it should be like, you kill them, you should have to like clear every fucking room. He should go in somewhere, close the door behind him. Right now he goes into like the fucking bathroom adjacent
one of
to the
2
stairs.
places. Yeah,
it gets to the point now where I just go over and I go whoop, blind fire left, and I go ba 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 ba, and I hear and I'm like, you know, it looks cool as fuck, but that's what happens when you know, it's the same fucking bullshit.
And there's so much potential with these scav bosses, because like you think, okay, Rashala's got his cronies, and that's kind of what makes it a dynamic fight. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, oh, did I get all the guards? If I got all the guards, where it's going to be. They have a lot of potential with these bosses because there's like 11 or 13 rogues every map. You know what I mean? Like I want them to be able to call them. The 4 at the north building, building 2, they never leave building 2. If I engage with Bird Eye up on the hill, I want Big Pipe to be able to send those 4 to building 3 to try and suppressing fire me. Because then if a different PMC rolls up, he might be like, oh, all the guys at building 4 are dead. And he's like looting building 4, and then they come back. Like the whole thing becomes more dynamic. The whole thing becomes so much less binary of just like, this guy's dead. Same thing with the GLs, man. Like it's so like, one guy could be like shooting a GL, making all this noise, and all the other guys are just like, you know, it's like, I want them to react. If there's combat, maybe they get off the guns, they move to the other side of the building, and they start suppressing fire. Then another person looks at the thing and they're like, oh, there's no one on the guns, and they run, and then the guy comes back on the gun. Like, it's just so binary right now.
Dude, imagine if at the start nobody was on the roof. Maybe there was like a second floor balcony, because what you want to do is you want to prevent people from like getting on the, I mean, unless you prevent them, well, I don't know, maybe you'd want to, but there's already like the metal staircases up to the roof. Imagine if they're patrolling all over the place, all the buildings. You can't just kill the 2 and then go in the next building, and then kill the 2 and then go in the next. Imagine if, you know how hard that middle building is, because there's 2 guys on the roof and 4 dudes that can be on the other side, on the back side. Even that could be more dynamic. But imagine if you engage with one of them, they're like, woo, fucking reserve alarm kind of thing, just not as loud and annoying. And then all of a sudden, everybody goes up to the roof and starts being like, where the fuck are they at?
Yep.
Well, then it would be harder for everybody else coming in. They'd be like, oh, that means other PMCs are here because they're on fucking red alert. There's so many fucking things
There's
they can
so
do,
many
dude.
things. You've got the group, the three helicopter runs, the ones that spawn in the middle. Nobody ever kills them because they're impossible to kill because they can see you from everywhere. Everybody just leaves those guys up. Those guys are such a great little like auxiliary militia where they could just like absolutely like flank and move to any building at any time. They're so close. It would be so perfect. Or the two rogues at the front, the south-facing corner by the water, those guys die. Maybe somebody replaces him. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
there's so much. I think
if they put as much fucking effort and attention into the design of the mechanics of the game and the experiences as they do with the modeling of the guns and the artwork of the fucking scav bosses, it would be fucking amazing.
Yeah. I also think that we're going to be able to get up on those roofs. I'm almost positive with the update.
I mean, I would be fine. Like, I would be fine
I think
if
it would
you
be
can
good.
get up on the, because it's balanced. You are stationary as fuck.
100%.
It's why almost nobody ever uses the shit on customs, because you're a sitting duck. If you get on the gun and start shooting, if anybody is within eyesight, you're dead.
Yeah.
You better hope that the one person you're shooting is the only person.
Guy. And it balances it both ways. If you're up there, you're exposed and you're vulnerable, but it means that you're so much more scared when you're in the water treatment facility too, because like players can be up there, but not necessarily on the guns. They can be finding cover. They can be looking in that building. So now you're going to be so much more cautious when you're moving through. Right now, it's just kill those two. And I know I can run around here with absolutely no worries. I know I'm the first PMC here. I know none of the other ones are going to aggro me. Like being able to kill those and then have other people get up. Some people, maybe a PMC uses the mounted machine gun. Maybe they're just sniping from up there. Maybe they're just looting. Because there's like the wooden technical crates and stuff like that. Like they're up there. If you go up on the rocks, you can see them on the roofs and stuff like that. So I think that they just kind of closed that off temporarily. So if they open it up, yeah, it'd be cool if those rogues came down or other rogues came up. Once again, more dynamic on like who's doing what when, and it's not such a linear experience.
Yep.
That'd be pretty sick.
10-4, good buddy.
That'd be pretty sick. Oh, well, dude, look at us. We started and we were like, do you have anything? I don't know. And we we filled 2 hours. Easy breezy, bro.
And I was going to be like, maybe I want to do a shorter one because I have a fucking headache. And for some reason, I'm super exhausted. But yeah, you can't, once I get, you know me, once I get fucking
once we get
all
going,
riled up.
Yeah. But, so that's it. That's the stuff. Thanks for hanging with us, fam. I'm really hoping that by this time next week we have DLSS because that'll be about 2 weeks. They said it was coming real soon. He said it was done. I really don't know what to think about those teases in the podcast. He said something along the lines of like the Lighthouse expansion stuff we're excited about, but it's not ready yet. So it's not really going to come soon. But then they teased all those bosses and then they put another picture out today. That's like all 3 of them together in a new artwork thing. Like they seem to be ramping up to like yo, this is coming. But then they said it really wasn't. So I don't know what to think. We should have DLSS soon, which is cool. I'm assuming that in the next week or 2, we'll probably see something, whether it's like a random streets tease, or maybe they give us a little bit more information about the patch. So exciting times, exciting things coming, and
Yo, you know what we need real quick? Everybody go fucking pull up hit your console button, a lowercase FPS space 1. Take note of some of your average frame rates. Because what I fucking don't want is everybody to be like, yo, I'm getting 90 FPS. I used to get 60, when actually you might have been getting 90. You just hadn't paid attention to it. So I want to know, this is some like unofficial shit, because let's really fucking pay attention to it to really see what the actual result is. You know what? Oh man, maybe I'll put a poll up on Twitter before they do something like, yo, what FPS you got on this map? What FPS?
Yeah.
So that I can then ask people after.
That's a good call. I'll probably turn it on tonight and turn it on every day until DLSS. Just so I get some sort of baseline. That's a good call.
Word.
But yeah, so thanks for hanging. This will be live on all the platforms early next week. And Kappa Gamer now. I'm feeling good about it. So thanks for hanging. We'll definitely see you all in the next one.
Peace.